Encanto. Yeah, I'd say it's fairly new. Let's talk about it. Disney's 60th animated feature didn't really do that well at the box office, performing lower than the studio's expectations due to heavy competition with Spider-Man No Way Home. But once the film came onto Disney Plus, that's when people consumed it. Everyone's been going on about how great this movie is. It recently won at the Golden Globes for Best Animated Feature. Its songs are on the Billboard. Everybody's going nuts for this film. Now, the last Disney movie that got this much attention that wasn't from Pixar was Frozen, and that attention that Frozen got doesn't really hold up that well today. So is Encanto gonna face that same fate? In my opinion, not really. I initially thought that this movie was going to be cringy. I thought it was going to be corny. I thought the songs were going to irritate me. I thought it was going to be exactly like Frozen. But much like all the movies from 2021, Encanto taught me never judge a book by its cover. Yeah, I thought this movie was pretty good. Is it the best Disney movie? Well, in my opinion, not really. That title would go to something like Big Hero 6, The Lion King, I don't know. But in the Disney musical genre, I think I'd say Encanto is the best one. Obviously, when it comes to CGI, Disney have come a long way, and the CGI and color in this film is beautiful. One thing I'll say about Disney animated movies is that they all look the same, mainly because of the characters and lighting. And Encanto does have that same style, but I will admit, I think that the style felt very different, mainly due to the story and its tone, and I truly appreciate that. I also really enjoyed some of the music. Some of the songs, they are a bit too catchy and they can stay in your mind for, I don't know, like 3 days, but they definitely weren't cringy, and that's what I truly appreciated. I'll admit, some of the songs, they truly did help with the story. Others were just used, in my opinion, to increase the runtime. But I will admit, I do think that they balanced the song with the story very well. A lot of movies, they just use musical numbers to tell the story, and sometimes it's just really boring. But for Encanto's case, I didn't necessarily find the story and the songs very boring. And now that I've mentioned story, let's talk about the film's writing. And I do think that it's pretty good. Thankfully, there is no villain in this movie, first off. It's about this family who has magical powers, which is technically powered by their house. However, the magic is slowly fading away because one of the members of their family doesn't have powers, and her anger and jealousy truly brings the house's magic down. So she goes on a quest to find out why the house is breaking, as well as discovers the history about her uncle Bruno. And there's a whole song dedicated to that character, which I will not mention because you've all heard it by now. Now, I thought that the story for this movie was original. Some of the film's elements, especially its musical tone, are very similar to what we've seen in Disney movies before, but in this film's case, in its story and its pacing, as well as its lack of a villain, truly helped it. I also thought some of the powers that the family had was interesting. I mean, a sister who was really strong, an uncle who we know can predict the future, sometimes in a very bad way, a kid that can speak to animals, another sister that can create flowers, and then our main character who can do nothing. But despite the fact that our main character doesn't have any powers, I like how the fact that she doesn't care slowly turns into jealousy and sort of frustration. I think it's fair to say that practically everyone's been in that point where their family members are much more special than them. So this family element in Encanto, where the sibling doesn't have the same powers as the rest of her family, was very relatable. As for problems, yeah, I'd say Encanto has quite a few problems, but they're mostly just questions. First off, the character Bruno. Yes, I know that character makes a lot of bad predictions, as mentioned in the movie and in the song that has now become one of the most popular Disney songs ever made. But there's something strange that I find about him and the family. Obviously, I know he makes bad predictions, which is why he could be a danger to the city of Encanto. But I do think that when Mirabel first finds him and introduces him to the family should at least be concerned and turn against Mirabel, which could cause the whole castle to fall. And I would have really appreciated that if they went that way. But they went the way they went, so it doesn't matter. Also, even though I may get a lot of hate from little girls and other people who enjoy this film, I do think that every scene and shot is the exact same thing. It's not a bad thing, and it's understandable because it is set in the exact same location throughout most of the entire film. But I think if they tone down the texture and some of the color for the animation, because the movie does look a bit too bright. I know I kind of waffled there, but what I'm trying to say is that I think that they could have toned down some of the color because it does look a bit too bright. And other than that, I think that's all I have to say about Encanto for now. I may not be devouring it like everybody else, and the reason is because I'm worried that over the years the songs will get a bit annoying and the movie will also become a bit too overrated and sell a lot of toys. And I've seen some Disney movies better, again The Lion King, Big Hero 6, Inside Out, even though that's from Pixar or whatever, Zootropolis. I've seen a few other Disney movies that are a bit more memorable than Encanto. But easily, that doesn't mean Encanto is bad. It has some good material for family. I think that its intentions are good. It has a decent story, catchy songs, brilliant voice acting, colourful and beautiful animation, as well as a lot of creativity and originality. Easily makes me appreciate Encanto much more than I thought I was going to. And as of right now, it gets a 7 out of 10 from me. I know that a lot of people around my age, and especially kids, are going to give this movie a lot higher scores, but I didn't enjoy it that much. But it's not like Frozen, where its only intentions are to entertain little kids, but to irritate everyone older than that. Instead, Encanto is a relatable family movie that I think that you can sit down and watch with your entire family. Your kids will enjoy it, your parents will enjoy it. Again, it does have a few things that don't make sense and it does feel a bit boring at times, but I will admit, its creativity and original ideas truly saved it. And at the end of the day, it's definitely worth the watch. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Encanto, a movie that I thought looked like total fluff judging by its announcement, as well as the studio's track record, but at the end of the day, it surprised me. Thanks a lot for watching everyone. Like, share, comment and subscribe. I have a review for a Netflix show that I'm currently watching, which you'll be excited to hear about, and I'll catch all of you next time with another video.